That's so weird, man. I'm gonna be all the time doing this now.
You don't even have boogers, bro.
Channel, I got any boogers?
I'm leaving that in there.
I got absolutely roasted in the comments. It was like 10 degrees outside, and I got outside and I had some frozen snot. And I think some white collar folks was like, "Oh my God, you got a booger. Why would you ever post this to the internet?" Welcome back to another episode, Sicon Excavation and Utilities YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. You'll find basically behind the scenes of blue collar utility, excavation, dirt work, earthwork content. I don't think this is in very many places on YouTube, so we're trying to let you guys in on a little bit of the blue collar business sense of how a business owner, basically makes it nowadays. And that's what a lot of this video is going to be about. Number one, I'm going to be kind of going over some housekeeping stuff of the channel and where we're going for this year. But I'm also, the big title of the video, as you guys can tell, is estimating. And I'm going to kind of give you some things, not as, hey, this is how you bid the job. I'm going to give you some insight on things that you need to have in your head as an owner, maybe as an estimator, to help you move forward and hopefully land some more jobs. Anyways, so some general housekeeping. I don't know if you guys notice, I'm in a different office here. I'm actually in Will's office. He has the old big man chair, Oh. Anyways, this is going to be home central for me and Will, doing some recording for you guys moving forward. If you guys haven't, go check out the Blue Collar Business Podcast. You can check it out on a playlist on the channel. Click Sicon's channel. There'll be a playlist just for the podcasts, and it actually is in the new podcast YouTube section as well, so you can check it out there. But if you just want to be listening on the audio, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, Apple, pretty much anywhere you guys get your podcast from, platform-wise, we should have the Blue Collar Business on there. And if we don't, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to make sure it's where you stream your podcasts at. But moving forward with that, guys, is that we are going to be doing a lot more talky videos. We're going to try and upload every Saturday, just like we have been. But I think we're going to re-gear it just a little bit. I think me and Will both agree, and so do the guys and the audience from the last video and in the comment sections. Basically, I think every other week we're going to give you guys 2 weeks of film, and it gives Will a little bit more time to gather film, etc. So you guys aren't just getting bits and pieces of jobs, you're actually getting sections of jobs, and so that would hopefully in turn help you and help you guys run your outfits, or superintendent, etc. But don't want to just drop the ball and not do a video every other Saturday. We're going to start trying to bring you a little bit more of the white collar sense of the blue collar man. And this is where I think a lot of folks lack, for a better term, fail. Leadership, craftsmanship, and being a businessman, those three are the absolute keys to success in entrepreneurship, and especially in our world. And a lot of guys can be the best dozer operator and be the best craftsman, and they can be the best leader, but man, sometimes they're really crappy business guys. Or it can be a really good business guy, and you're the best track operator in the world, and you guys slay more pop than anybody, but you may just be a crappy leader. That podcast is fixing to be breaking down sections of the blue collar world and what we deal with. But it's going to help you on the white collar world. The couple of episodes that I'm coming here in the next 2 months are going to be in the business side of what we do, and hopefully give you guys some insight and be able to relate to it and use it in your own sense. I'm really just trying to help you guys run your businesses better, or just be yourself, be a superintendent. You can be a project manager, estimator, you can be a ditch hand. I'm looking to be able to talk to every single person and make this relatable, to bring it to you guys to hopefully personally develop yourself a little bit better, and hopefully grow and advance in whatever realm of the blue collar world you're in. But to sit here and act like the white collar world isn't a part of this, it is kind of just ignorant, because it is. And a lot of blue collar guys like myself, you don't just wake up and be a CEO, and you need help, you need guidance. That podcast is going to be truly enlightening for a lot of folks. I'm learning so much every single time I get on a mic with somebody, how they handle a situation that I've handled for almost 10 years, and they say one little sentence and it makes me rethink that whole process. It's just been insane. Just real quick, guys, media room, I'm really excited about it. I know I briefly touched on it, but before that rant about the podcast and shameless plug, but Blue Collar Business Podcast, guys, go check it out. But this media room is literally, we just got Will in here yesterday. We're filming our first video in here. It's basically a closet, guys, but it is going to give us
I don't know y'all in there, sorry.
it's going to give us, number one, a workable area. I've got a whiteboard behind me. We're going to be breaking down a lot of the white collar world, and this media room is going to be able to give us and provide us a quiet working space. Everything around here is not very quiet, but we have really tried to move people around and use our space in the best utilization that we can. And moving Will in here, I think, is going to not only help him, me, but is going to help you guys. And lastly, guys, be on the lookout. I'm going to be guesting like 4 different podcasts in the next 5 weeks. So we will definitely be sharing that to our Facebook, our Instagram, and I will share it on, I think it's the community column here on YouTube, so you guys can also watch that. So just wanted to throw that out there real quick. So let's talk a little bit on estimating basics. Let's not talk about how to bid the job, because I think there is a plethora of videos on YouTube about how to bid a job. But I'm going to give you a couple of insights as of where to find this work, who to talk to about this work. There's so many services out there that you can spend money with to get leads, to get in the door. And right now, in this day and age, in 2024, with our election year and high interest rates, and it's a little bit harder, as you guys may have been finding out, to land work and get the work in the door. And so, circling back to what I said earlier, that's what I'm hoping this year. Every other Saturday, you're going to get to sit down and talk with me. Leave comments and questions down below for me. Maybe on video topics, on things you want me to discuss and talk about, maybe a little bit more relatable to you. That's what's coming on every other week. And it's going to give me a little bit of time to sit down with Will in here and really dissect what I'm trying to get across on this channel. Yes, it's pretty sexy. It's pretty glamorous when you're looking at those machines working and the boys working and slinging pop and moving dirt. But what's the behind the scenes? I keep talking about behind the scenes. Well, here we are. So estimating 101. Where do you find this work? There's all these services, right? So if we're talking residential, if you're, let's break it down for my resi guys real quick. Don't do Angie's List. I know I probably just hurt somebody's feelings, and I'm sorry, but Angie's Lists and all these little broker service that take the money directly from you, if you're willing to put a little bit of time in, social media is your absolute best friend. Get on your very small town residential pages, citizens of, or town of this, or whatever it is. Every town seems to have a Facebook page now that all the citizens kind of go for and ask questions. That right there is your absolute best friend. Do 3 or 4 or 5 of those, and then those 3 or 4 or 5 people that were on there looking on that Facebook post are gonna recommend you every single freaking time. It gets annoying how many times they'll tag you. But 300, 500, $1,000, 300, 500, $1,000. Yes, is it this glamorous $25,000 job? No, but as you're running through these 3 or 4 or 5, 10, 20, 50 little jobs, there's that one that boom, pops out of nowhere. Hey man, can you my brother's building a house over here. Could you dig the basement? It's great. He's got way more money than I do. I know I just need some bushes ripped out, but he's wanting to like take out all this basement and all this other crap. And then boom, you just signed yourself up for a $20,000 big boy resi job. And it can happen just like that. It goes, I say all the time on here is these relationships, right? Relationships. But just like those 3 or 5 folks that you start out with within your little working town with your Mini X and your skid steer, it's all about word of mouth. It's all about recommendations right now and referrals, because the guys that have been in this for a little while, including myself, I can tell you I have fallen victim to this. The work coming to you gets easy, and you don't have to work that hard. And it's just right there all the time, and thank the good Lord that it is. But it's because of the reputation and the things that I do beforehand to get to this point for that to even remotely even be an opportunity. So what I'm trying to get at in a very basic step, number 1, is the people you talk to, take care of them. I understand there's a bunch of yahoos out there, but if you say you're gonna do something, do it. It will put money in your pocket eventually if you get up and you do it every single day. Resi Boys, Facebook of course, but I would also be running your own Facebook page, your own Instagram page, posting those jobs as you're doing them. I don't care if there's 1 person, 2 people, 5 people liking it. Just start building it right there as soon as you start, day 1. I promise you, it's not a waste of time. Marketing yourself is only going to grow those referrals and grow those recommendations if you're just starting out. And I know, why am I telling you this, guys? I know there's a bunch of you guys out there looking for some help and how to land work right now, especially excavation or dirt work jobs, right? Down here, I've had 13 different excavation companies since Christmas reach out to me. That smaller excavation contractor, the skid steer Mini X, maybe got 1 or 2, maybe 2 minis and 2 skids and a dumper, whatever. And I by any means am I saying that braggadociously. I'm just trying to say that the market is that if you haven't grown and you haven't established a little bit into the commercial side, everybody and their dog is going to be trying to jump into the commercial game right now. Undercut. So you resi guys, when I'm telling you to do this the rest of this year, you're looking for work. Well, that work that you may not like doing, you're gonna have to go back to doing it. Me and you both can agree you probably made money when you did do it. You'll probably already have the equipment to do it, but it's just a lot of work. Dude, I get it. I totally get it. I've been there. I'm in the same world as you right now, trying to do work that I want to do, finding out that there's not a plethora of that, so I'm having to take chunks of crap that I really don't even want to mess with, but we've got to mess with it to keep everything going, right? So that would be my other thing for you resi boys, is take the stuff that you didn't used to do. All right, example. A guy that's been digging for electricians and plumbers on these new houses and making $300 to $400 a pop, and you can do 6 of them and 8 of them a day. But you used to do septics, and it used to take you a week or 2, but you made good money when you did do them because you had a system. But now all those plumbers and electricians the work's drying up because there's not as many subdivisions, etc. And they don't have the work to give you, but that's what you're set up to do. Well, you might have to take a few septics. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you, but at least, you know, just look outside of what you want to do. If you're a little bit more established in that resi game, go back a year or 2, figure out how you did it then, what kind of work were you doing. It's probably different than what you're doing now, but you might have to chew off into that, right? All right, boys, let's talk commercial. I know a lot of these resi guys trying to jump over into the light commercial world. Everybody's trying to do it, man. I would highly suggest, unless you've had a year or 2 on commercial projects, tiptoeing around in it, I wouldn't be trying to dive off into it this year, boys. It's gonna be rough for you. You're under-equipped, you don't have the equipment. I'm trying to tell you that everybody's looking for work right now. Resi boys, stick to resi. You just may have to cut your costs a little bit to ensure that you're getting those resi jobs. But let's talk commercial. You commercial guys, you may be newer. Like myself, I've only been at this within the last 5 years in the commercial game strong now, but about 6.5 years in total in the commercial side. It may be stressful because you need a big backlog, and the last couple of years you've had backlog upon backlog upon backlog. But this year may just be a little bit different and the work's not stacking near as much. Well, just like I told the Resi boys a second ago, the commercial boys gonna have to get a little bit creative, and you're gonna have to do some things that you don't normally want to do, from what I'm finding out. That means you're gonna have to step outside your boxes. How you guys normally make your money. Whether you're a water and sewer guy, you might have to dip over and do some primary. If you're a storm drain and a dirt guy only, you may have to start, figuring out the utility world. I wouldn't recommend that from my own personal experience, especially in a year like this year. The capital and the overhead that it takes and the equipment it takes, your rental's going to be going through the roof. But that's just from my own experience. Construct Connect, Building Connected, all these other associated lead systems, right? Guys, I truly wouldn't be putting my money in there. I would be putting my money into a dang good website. Don't use mine as a reference. I'm telling you from my own experience where I wouldn't waste my money, okay? My website is basically in the middle of construction. We've got a very basic website to get applications in the door, the stores on there, etc. But the website is fixing to get overhauled. But if I was talking to me 3 or 4 years ago, I wouldn't be subscribing to all these Construct Connect, Building Connected, all these places that you think you're going to get leads from. Well, you need to be discoverable on there, and you're gonna have to spend some money, etc., for these people to even see you. But I need you also to know that when a GC wants you to own their project, they're gonna invite you through that platform, and you're going to learn that platform on their dollar because you can use it through their subscription. Not fully, but you can at least check out. If I've got one GC that runs Building Connected, he'll send a Building Connected link, and we've gotten to know Building Connected's platform before we've even spent the money. I've got another GC that uses Construct Connect, and they do everything on that, and I've gotten to use and know that platform through their subscription. I'm not having to spend any money on it, right? And so I still don't have I say that, I know our estimating department. Me personally though, I don't have all those.
That's not making you want to sneeze. You don't have to sneeze right now? I'd be sneezing like crazy. That's me.
All those subscription-based platforms are great. Don't get me wrong. 1 or 2 of them wouldn't be a bad idea. Maybe the main one that you use in that area for those GCs. We use Procore a lot now to kind of work on both sides, pre-contract and contract. So that's mainly what we use. It's freaking silly expensive, but it is a really, really good platform, pre-contract and contract duration and post-contract closeout docs, as-built, etc. All that information is tracked right there. Who are you talking to if I'm telling you not to use these subscription bases? How do you get your name out there? Number 1, have a good website, business cards, hit every commercial job site in town, walk into that job trailer, shake that superintendent's hand, and go, "Hey, I'm Cy Kirby with SciCon. Didn't know if your electrician was needing an underground guy, or if you're needing anything around the job site for the GC. And do you need some wattles put in? Do you need a drainage ditch cut here? Do you need water ran for your job site trailer?" Whatever it could be. And they're most dadgum, dude. My nose is bugging me. What I'm getting at, guys, going to those job site trailers, you're probably gonna get no out of 7 out of 10, maybe even 8 out of 10. But the one guy that you do talk to, he's gonna go, "Man, I like you. I like this. This is some hustle." He's gonna respect it. He's gonna go, "Hey man, give me your card. I'm gonna call my project manager and I'm gonna shoot you an email." Get these guys' business cards while you're in those job trailers. Don't worry about their phone number. They're not gonna answer your phone call because they don't know you. They don't know who you are, what you do. You do nothing for them. They could care less about your phone number. Don't text them. The one way and form of communication and how we talk in our world is email. Use a freaking email address. Sit at home, You went out, you didn't have no work, you ran around town, you've got 20 business cards. Sit there at night, don't care when you do it, and just go one from one. Hi, I'm so-and-so with this business. Here's a link to my website. Check us out. If there's anything we can do for you guys, here's my email address. My contact information is in the signature. And let me tell you boys how surprised the response you'll get. Resi boys, on those rain days, if you're not Googling every little home builder and contractor and shooting out emails constantly, you're crazy. That's the exact form that I would be doing and hustling work and building those relationships, right? Supers, project managers, estimators, those three I would be concentrated in the commercial world. Yes, don't get me wrong, the decision makers are up here, but if you prove to these guys down here you can do what you can, they're gonna talk to those guys when they have the time about you and bring them into the right light and go, hey man, these guys can get this crap done. I used them over there and they were cheap, and then all of a sudden now you're getting a set of plans from the get-go and you're getting to put good margins to it. It may land a good job on a good margin, right? I know we kind of talked about where to find this, who to talk to as you're following the where. I'll give you a super brief rundown and a super basic rundown of how you guys should be bidding your jobs from top to bottom. The number one thing, absolute number one thing you have to do before you can bid a job is know your cost. You have to know your cost. You need to know per hour what that machine's costing you, so you know you're covering that money to make sure that machine is doing what it's supposed to, and maybe you might be making some money in there. But there is no maybe. You have to know. And guess what? It takes a lot of time to get involved and dissect and know your costs, but spend the time. I wish I could talk to myself 5 years ago and go, hey bro, you really just need to stop, chill out for 5 seconds and figure out your costs so you know how to appropriately bid jobs, because we wouldn't be in such a chaotic storm that we're in right now. And it's being real and vulnerable with you guys is that I'm learning as we speak right now, and as I'm learning, I'm going to be bringing it back to you guys as much as I can. But I have literally restructured the inside of Sycon in the last 60 days over this winter, all around those 3 words, know your cost. And we've got to figure out our cost, and especially in a very tight election year, high interest rate year, landing work is just as hard for us big boys as it is the small guys right now. I know it may look different on the outside looking in. The mini-X and the skid steer guy looking at a guy with equipment fleet of 20, you think it's super easy for him to land work, but it's not. Getting a contract signed is just as hard at this level. But across the board, once you know your cost, you can even break it down by day. What's the guys cost you? What's the machines cost you? What's it take that you own, that you need to have money covered, taking care of your labor, right? Well, then you've got material. Your material, if you guys aren't getting, this is super basic, more for the resi guys, but if you've got a 400-foot water service, you better know how much 400 foot of water pipe costs you, your connections on both ends, and if there's anything funny that the customer may want a new frost free, a valve, etc., have that cost figured before you give that ditch price and installation price. I know that sounds so elementary, but you would be so surprised at all the guys that don't know it. I can tell you, I was one of those guys for the first 3 or 4 years, especially in the resi world, just shooting off the hip and going, oh yeah, man, I can do that for $1,500. I can do that for $2,800. And then at the end of it, you found out that you couldn't. Well, I'm just trying to save you guys some time there. But your material, you've got your time, you've got your material, and then you should have a margin on both, which is your profit and what you can keep. If you know your cost, it's really easy to figure out your time. And if you know your cost of material, it's really easy to know your cost there as well. Put a little margin on here for delivering, moving, etc., getting it to the job. And as the size of material and time grows, so does the margin, etc. So that would be my super basic 101, know your cost. Unfortunately, it took me 8.5 years to really figure out those 3 words, but sometimes it takes abrupt change and abrupt stop and pace to really slow down, because if you don't do it, your business will do it for you. You'll just come to a point, just like I did, and you're over here in the ditch, or you're moving equipment, or you're doing a bunch of stuff, but you're not concentrating on the 2 things that you need to be concentrating on the most, and that is the next job and the job you're on getting done as profitably as fast as possible. Guys, I hope this helped. I know it's a different style of video. I'm hoping to be bringing you guys different styles of video. I mean, can we get a like for the no hat sigh? I mean, that's kind of different. If I had my hat on, it was just gonna cover my eyes, and then somebody was gonna be like, you got a booger, you can't see your eyes. Anyhow, if you guys wouldn't mind, go check our socials out. I'm trying to deliver this information here, but I literally have been posting day in the lives on TikTok of exactly what I'm doing through the day. So if you really truly want the behind the scenes, go check out TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm posting daily on Facebook. Will's posting on Instagram at least weekly, and he only puts the juice on Insta. But Facebook, we throw a bunch of stuff on there. And last but not least, that podcast, guys. That podcast, if you like this style of video and like hearing business owners and entrepreneurs talk about entrepreneurship, that podcast is going to be for you, especially if your collar's blue and your neck's red. Come on. Till next time, guys. You guys be safe, be kind, be humble.
Hey,